It's the Chosen One. Me and my bro Sanchez are here today to break down the whole Star Wars movie series, episodes 1 all the way to the new 7 film that's coming out this Friday. Now, Star Wars, everybody knows when the words come on the screen, it says a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. But in reality, they're actually talking about what's going on in this galaxy right now as we speak. These Star Wars films came out in the late 70s, early 80s, okay? And people were so thrilled by the films that everybody wanted to know how Darth Vader became who he was. You know what I'm saying? Because they understood that he was half man, half machine, and they just wanted to find out how he got that way. So in 1999, George Lucas came out with the Star Wars Episode 1 Phantom Menace movie, and that 3-movie series was just basically about how Darth Vader was tricked to go into the dark side and go under Saturn set Satan, who is Darth Sidious in the movie, how he went under his wing, and how he was tricked, and tempted to join the dark side of the Force. Now, a lot of people are telling me, well, don't you know the dark side represents melanated people, and then the Jedi represent the non-melanated and the government? That's completely wrong, people. The Jedi and the Sith is both melanated people. It's all us. It was all us, back in the Kemetic days, back in the Atlantean days, and even when our ancestors were dwelling in other planets, The good and the bad, the light and the dark, it's all us. It's all one, the Alpha and the Omega, There's a negative side to darkness. There's a positive side to darkness. There's a negative side to light. There's a positive side to light, That you're dealing with forms of duality in every single aspect in this Star Wars 6-movie sequence. So basically, in this Star Wars movie series, there's 2 forms of governmental systems that are controlling the galaxy. You have the Republic and the Federation. The Federation are depicted as bad because their form of government wants to control every aspect of the lives of galactic citizens. So the Jedi are on the Republic side, which wants more individual rights for galactic citizens. And the Sith want the Federation to take control of the galactic government. The Jedi can be seen as Kemetic, Magi, or Japanese samurai, individuals who are considered spiritually enlightened and righteous and have supernatural powers through the Force, quote unquote. The Force is electromagnetic energy that's emitted by dark matter. It's very real, people. It's not a joke. The Jedi and Sith Lords' power was measured by something called their midi-chlorian count in their blood, which is really their melanin count, people. It's the melanin concentration in their blood. And one thing a lot of people need to understand about melanin is a superconductor of electromagnetic energy and is also an ancestral memory holder and a connection to the dark matter force in the universe. So when everybody's talking about what is the Force? What is the Force in Star Wars? What is the Force? What is the Force? What is the Force? The Force is electromagnetic energy that's coming from the dark matter macro womb of the galaxy that's connected to the universe. The invisible force that's holding the stars together, that's keeping everything in the universe in motion. That is the Force. We are amplifiers of that force. We are aqueducts. We are like conduit pipes, And the Jedis who had the highest midi-chlorian count, which is really a melanin count, they were the most powerful Sith Lords and the most powerful Jedi. If you do your research and you look up the samurai, the real history of the samurai, you couldn't be a samurai if your melanin count in your DNA wasn't at a certain level. So these people had to have had at least African grandparents, great grandparents somewhere. It gets very deep, people, very deep. This Star Wars whole movie series is about what's going on with the melanated people on this planet and how we had all the power and lost it because of our arrogance and our ego, and how we are destined to rise again. So basically, these Jedi are the followers of the Sun, and the Sith are the followers of Set. The Sith are the followers of Set and Saturn. They want the galactic citizens to be sucked into the Saturn matrix, into consumerism, and lose their spirituality and their consciousness. When the Jedi are trying to pull people away from all the technicalities and everything that's artificial and get back to nature. Well, shit, that's what's going on right now on this planet Earth right now, You can think of the Jedi as some of the great teachers like Dr. Delbert Blair, Dr. Layla Africa, Phil Valentine, Umar Johnson, the great 13th son, Khalid Muhammad, great spiritual philosophers, spiritual teachers, and gurus. Those would be the Jedi in today's world. The Sith, well, you got these politicians who are pretending to be politicians, but they're really dark witches and sorcerers and mazes and warlocks behind the scenes, and they're performing rituals and sacrificing babies, sacrificing innocent people behind the scenes, and are planning our destruction. Just like Emperor Palpatine in the movie series Star Wars episodes 1 to 3, Emperor Palpatine presents himself like he's doing good. He's doing the galaxy good. And guess what, people? Emperor Palpatine's plan was to combine the Federation with the Republic and create one galactic empire, which equals the New World Order in today's society. I'm gonna repeat that. Emperor Palpatine was a politician who pretended to be for the galaxy's good by joining forces, joining the Federation with the Republic, and creating a galactic empire for quote unquote the good of the galaxy. But what the citizens failed to realize was Palpatine was really Satan, Set, Saturn, the fallen one himself, okay? The leader of the Sith, the Dark Lord of the Sith. And what you can convert that over to in today's reality is Barack Obama, okay? Who's working behind the scenes to get this New World Order popping off. And when this happened in the Star Wars movie series, you had certain individuals in the galaxy who refused to be part of the Empire. Most of those people were part of the Republic, and they got into certain armor suits, and they were known as rebels. They were known as rebel fleets. So everybody who goes against the New World Order, which is the Empire in Star Wars, is going to be viewed as a rebel, people. Luke Skywalker was the leader of the Rebel Alliance in the Star Wars movie series, people. What is that saying? Luke Skywalker. Our ancient ancestors called the sun in the sky the Skywalker because it went over the sky every single day. So Luke Skywalker is Darth Vader's son. Darth Vader's son. I already told you that Darth Vader was Pluto. Pluto in astrology is ruled by dark matter, dark energy, uncovering the truth, uncovering hidden truth, atomic energy, orgasmic energy. Okay, ether, dark matter, energy. And where did the sun come from? The sun, our sun, the star in the sky, came from the dark matter. It came from the center of the galaxy, people. That's where it was born. So Luke Skywalker is Darth Vader's son, just like the center of the galaxy gave birth to the sun. You see what I'm saying? That's really what that is representing, people. Everything that's going on in Star Wars correlates to something in astrology, and then it correlates to something that's going on this planet right now, as above, so below. Like I said before, Darth Sidious is Set Saturn, the fallen one, the fallen angel. Obi-Wan Kenobi is Prometheus Uranus. That's who Obi-Wan Kenobi is. Yoda can be seen as a spiritual guru, a spiritual, wise, enlightened Jedi. So if there's any planet that rules Yoda, it would be Neptune. Okay, look up what these planets represent in astrology. These main characters, okay, are all ruled by certain planets in astrology. George Lucas and his group of people, they have our ancient ancestors' knowledge, and they're telling us the story, but they're trying to see who wakes up and who stays asleep, okay? It's not a game. It's not a joke. In episode 1, it's called The Phantom Menace. You have 2 Jedi, Obi-Wan Kenobi and Qui-Gon Jinn. Qui-Gon Jinn is Obi-Wan's master. They're on a mission for the Republic to search for intel information about the Sith and what they have planned with the Federation. They accidentally land on a deserted planet called Tatooine. When they're on this deserted planet, they meet a slave woman who's a slave on the planet, and she has a son named Anakin. Now, Qui-Gon Jinn and Obi-Wan are interacting with this child, and they notice something very peculiar about this child, that he has very high intellect for a 6-year-old. So Qui-Gon Jinn, his intuition tells him to run a test on the young Jedi Anakin. And what he does is a midi-chlorian test to measure the amount and concentration of midi-chlorians in Anakin's DNA. What this really is a melanin concentration test in Anakin's DNA. Because like I said, the Jedi are a form of the samurai and the Magi, and you couldn't be part of those groups unless you had a certain amount of melanin in your DNA. Because what is the midi-chlorian in Star Wars? It's a superconductor. When you see the Jedi and the Sith shooting those electric forces out of their fingers, That's what it is, people. They're using their midichlorians, which are melanin, as a superconductor of universal energy, universal forces. They have power of telekinesis. They can read people's minds, sense people's presence thousands of miles away. Okay? They're tuned into the universal force, which is the dark matter, electromagnetic ether energy. And melanin is a superconductor of that. So when Qui-Gon sees this test and pulls the machine out of Anakin's wrist, the machine actually breaks because Anakin, his midichlorian reading is off the charts, people. And Qui-Gon Jinn is so shocked that he asks his mother who his father is, and she says the father's unknown. So Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan take Anakin under their wing. Later on in the episode 1 movie, Qui-Gon Jinn and Obi-Wan confront Darth Sidious and Darth Maul. Darth Maul is shown with red and black features on his face because he is symbolized as a Moor who went to war. He represents the planet Mars, the god of war. Darth Maul represents Mars. Qui-Gon Jinn, Obi-Wan Kenobi confronted Darth Maul. Darth Maul ended up killing Qui-Gon Jinn. Obi-Wan Kenobi ended up killing Darth Maul. So Obi-Wan was left to take Anakin under his wing in episode 1. Okay, so going into episode 2, which is the Attack of the Clones. Now, it's funny they talk about the clones because I've been saying this for a while, that a lot of people in our society today, as far as politicians and celebrities, they're a result of cloning, people. Let's really think about it. Do you really think a person who is a natural thinking human is really going to abide by this New World Order, evil, satanic, sadistic agenda and not be under some form of weird control? I don't think so. A lot of our leaders today, people, are a result of cloning, genetic manipulation to serve the New World Order agenda. So in episode 2, Attack of the Clones, the Federation, they have transhumanism going on. They have a droid army, an army of droids. They trick the Republic into forming a clone army. So you have droids versus clones. Darth Sidious has a apprentice known as Darth Tyrannus, who is Count Dooku. Count Dooku confronts Master Yoda and Anakin and Obi-Wan on the planet of Geonosis. And when this happens, Anakin loses his hand and they end up defeating Darth Tyrannus in the later episode after this. So Anakin is having problems because earlier in the episode 2 movie, Anakin's mother dies. When his mother dies, he starts showing forms of self-hate, grief, anger, and anxiety. And he wants to acquire the relationship from Padme Amidala to fill that hole in his heart of his mother dying. So Anakin goes against the Jedi Order and sleeps with Padme and ends up getting her pregnant unknowingly. This is going against the whole Jedi theology. This is going against the Jedi Council. And even Yoda stated in episode 1 that he was unwary if Anakin should be accepted into the Jedi Order because Yoda saw it in him and sensed it in Anakin from the get-go that this child had too much fear in his heart. And we all know fear is what's going to keep you here and not going to allow your soul to ascend to the 5th dimension. And like I said, Yoda already knew that in episode 1, and he already sensed that in Anakin from the beginning. This is where it gets interesting, people. After episode 2, at the end of episode 2, Anakin and Padme officially get married. At the beginning of episode 3, Anakin keeps having visions and dreams and nightmares of Padme dying in childbirth. A lot of his dreams have been coming true, so he's under the impression that this event is going to come true. In his mind, he's trying to do everything in his power to stop his loved one, his wife, from dying in childbirth. It's crazy because Emperor Palpatine, who is Sidious, knows this because Darth Sidious is Obama, the Antichrist, Saturn set Satan, the fallen one. He's psychic, people. He knows what you're dreaming about. He knows what you're thinking about. He can use telepathy. He is deeply tapped into the universal force. So he knows what you're thinking. He knows what Anakin feels. So when he's portraying this false illusion as this good politician, Palpatine, he calls Anakin in for a meeting, for a secret meeting. And he tells Anakin that there was a Dark Lord of the Sith known as Darth Plagueis. And Darth Plagueis was an individual who was so powerful with the dark side of the Force that Darth Plagueis was actually capable of cheating death. He could cause his cells to divide forever. And he knew how to do it. And actually, ladies and gentlemen, this science is actually real. You might want to do your research on this topic. Okay.